All right, guys. So today we are going to practice our pronunciation. Let's go over words from chapter 1A to talk about activities. Bailar, bailar, cantar, correr. Now, two things that I want to point out. So for the letter C, remember that the letter C has two sounds. It makes the S sound before E and I, and it makes the K sound before A, O, and U. So remember that the letter C in Spanish has two sounds. When it comes to the double R, if you cannot roll your R's like it's okay. It's fine. Just try it because even native speakers can't roll their R's. Some, not everyone, but some cannot. So if you cannot or you just don't feel comfortable rolling those R's because you're afraid that it might not come out okay, just do it. Practice it. Now, the next word is dibujar. And remember that J in Spanish makes the H sound, the English H sound, dibujar. So when you say to draw in Spanish, don't say dibujar, because I have heard that in the past. So let's practice our pronunciation at home. Escribir cuentos, escribir cuentos. Escuchar música, escuchar música. Esquiar, esquiar. So when it comes to the U after Q, remember that U is silent. So the U after Q, the U after Q is silent. Hablar por teléfono. Hablar por teléfono. Remember that in Spanish, the H is silent. Ir a la escuela. Ir a la escuela. Jugar videojuegos. Jugar videojuegos. Leer revistas. Leer revistas. Montar en bicicleta. Remember that I in Spanish is E. E. Don't be confused with I, because sometimes I have heard bicicleta. Bicicleta. That's not the right way to say it. So let's practice our pronunciation. The only way we're going to get better is if we practice. So it's bicicleta. Bicicleta. So remember that in Spanish, my 5 vowels are A, as in apple, A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Okay. So now let's go over the word montar en monopatín. Montar en monopatín. Remember, it's no monopatín. 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 Nadar. Pasar tiempo con amigos. Pasar tiempo con amigos. Patinar. Patinar. Practicar deportes. Practicar deportes. I know that in your notes, and I did this because I feel that it's easier to remember. So when it comes to practicar deportes, I wrote to practice sports because I feel that it's easier to remember. So I put to practice sports. Tocar la guitarra, to play the guitar. Tocar la guitarra. Trabajar, trabajar. Usar la computadora. Remember the U sound. A, E, I, O, U. Usar. Because right now when you're reading, it would be easier for you guys to say usar. But it's not usar. It's usar. Usar la computadora. Ver la tele. Remember that V in Spanish makes the B sound, as in boy. Ver. Ver la tele. Okay? So now let's go over to say what you like to do. A mí me gusta. A mí me gusta más. A mí me gusta mucho. A mí también. So when it comes to the a mí in parentheses, what it does to your sentence is that it emphasizes the fact that you like something. So if you don't put it in front of your sentence, it's not wrong. If you say me gusta, you're saying that you like. And a mí is frequently used when you're asked a question. Like, ¿te gusta ir a la escuela? Sí, a mí me gusta. Or you can say, a mí no me gusta. So just keep that in mind. So a mí is in parentheses, and in those cases, if you don't use it, it's okay. People use that to say that people use that, but oftentimes they don't. Okay. To say what you like to do. A mí me gusta. I like to. A mí me gusta mucho. I like to blank better. A mí me gusta. To say what you like to do. A mí me gusta. I like to. A mí me gusta más. I like better, or I prefer to. A mí me gusta mucho. I like to a lot. A mí también. So you notice that there's an a mí in parentheses. So a mí before me gusta is basically used when you're answering a question. Like if someone asks, ¿te gusta ir a la escuela? Do you like to go to school? And your answer will be, a mí me gusta mucho ir a la escuela. I like to go to school a lot. Or you might say, no, you don't like it. So you're going to say, a mí no me gusta ir a la escuela. So a mí is used when you answer questions. And even with that, if you choose not to use a mí and you just use me gusta, that's okay too. All right. In the case of a mí también, those three words go together to say I do too. So that's not really a choice. The ones that are in parentheses, yeah, you're okay if you don't use them. All right. To say what you don't like to do. A mí no me gusta. I don't like to. A mí no me gusta nada. When you say a mí no me gusta nada, you're saying that you don't like something at all. A mí no me gusta nada correr. A mí no me gusta nada correr. I just said that I don't like to run at all. A mí tampoco. I don't like it either. All right, so it says to ask others what they like to do. ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Now remember, there are two question marks, one upside down and one that is upside down at the beginning of your question. And ¿qué te gusta hacer? Means what do you like to do? With that in mind, it's not hacer. No, acer. I have heard acer in the past. It's not that. Remember that it's hacer. Again, getting used to using your vowels will help you a lot. So the vowels are a, e, I, o, u, and they don't change. Those sounds, they stay. ¿Qué te gusta más? What do you like better or what do you prefer? ¿Te gusta? Do you like to? Y a ti, and you. Now this here is going back to when you're asking, remember when we were asking, ¿cómo te llamas? What's your name? Or ¿cómo estás? How are you? And if you answer ¿cómo estás? Then you will ask, and you, ¿y tú? Well, for when you're asking about activities, things that you like to do, we don't use y tú. We use y a ti. Okay? So when we're talking about asking people what activities they like to do, or what they like to do is y a ti, in you. So remember that. Don't get confused. All right. So other useful words, ni and ni. So ni and ni is used to list two things that you don't like. Okay? Ni and ni is used to list two things that you don't like. So an example of that will be no me gusta ni correr ni jugar videojuegos. So I wrote no me gusta ni correr ni jugar videojuegos. So I have my ni and ni, and I have my two things. Here's one, and here's two. So ni and ni is used to list two things that you don't like to do. All right. So the other word is o, which means or, pues, well. Sí, remember that sí with the accent mark means yes, and sí without the accent mark means if. So be careful with that. También, also, or to, and y. All right, so those are your words. So one last thing that I wanted to cover here. When someone says te gusta, so let's pretend that I'm asking you, ¿te gusta correr? So if someone says, ¿te gusta correr? Do you like to run? If I say, do you like to run? If I ask you that question, you will say, yes, I like to run, or no, I don't like to run, right? But you're going to answer that with a I like, because they're asking you. So same thing in Spanish. If they say, ¿te gusta correr? Do you like to run? You can say, me gusta correr. Me gusta correr. Okay. All right, guys. If you have any questions about your new vocabulary words, if you need help with your pronunciation, just ask, and I'll be more than happy to help you out.